Hare Krishna, my name is Bhakti, Prabhava, Swami. I'm going to share with you how I came to Krishna consciousness. That happened somewhere in the 80s. In 1984, I was a chartered accountant and had a job at an accountant office in Ghent, in Flanders. In the evening, I used to take my bus to go home. And when I saw my bus coming, there was a devotee approaching me, and the devotee wanted to give me a few books. I told him, yes, I can take your books, but there my bus is coming. So then the devotee said, you take the books and give me all the little money which is in your pocket. So I gave him all the little money what was in my pocket and went on the bus. On the bus, I opened the first book. The title was Krishna, the Personality of Godhead. I started to read the first pages, and I was thinking, yes, maybe, maybe not. I came home, I put the books on top of my bookshelf. They remained there for 3 years. In 1987, I started to read that book, Krishna book, thinking it Indian stories, some mythology, nice to read before bedtime. So I was reading every evening a few pages. And so it took me 4 years to go to the whole book as bed literature. I finished Krishna book in 91, nearly 4 years. But while going to that book, when I was in the middle of the book, I was thinking this Bhaktivedanta Swami is answering all the questions of life. He's answering where I come from, who I am, where I'm going, things that I'd always been confused about, and he explained it with great clarity. Now, in 92, I got an invitation to attend a program, a lecture of a swami in Ghent, Flanders. So, since I had read Krishna book, I felt a little interested to meet these devotees who are living this philosophy. So I went to the lecture. I was a chartered accountant. I went in my confection shoe with tie, and I was ringing at the door where the home program was held. Someone opened the door. Later on, I get to know that was Bhakta Gustav. So I asked him, is the program here? Yes, he said, come in. And he showed me the way to the living room. So I went straight into the living room, and there I was sitting I was just standing before a swami. His name was Mahavishnu Goswami, who is originally from Gujarat. And the swami looked at me and said, maybe you can leave your shoes outside. So I put my shoes outside and came in. And then I went to the most strange experience in my life. I saw there these adherents with, they were dressed in bed sheets with shaved head, with a little tuft of hair at the back. And then they started to chant these mantras, and I was thinking, wow, that's extraordinary. Should I really stay here? But somehow or other I stayed, because there was also an altar, and there was Gaunitai, but I didn't see Gaunitai, I saw only flowers, because deities were not really my frame of reference. Then, after that, the Swami started to give a lecture from a big book. Later I understood this book was the Bhagavatam. He gave a lecture from the third canto, a verse on the third canto, from the teachings of Kapili Dev, the chapter that deals with the movements of the living entity, which describes the situation of the child in the womb, who after 7-8 months in the womb, the body starts to function and blood heart starts to function, and blood is going to the body and spread consciousness. So spirit soul becomes consciousness within the body, experience the body, and it's not such a happy experience. You are in a bag of flesh, and there's all these organs around you, urine, blood, worms, so many things, too hot, too cold. It's a big suffering. So that lecture just literally woke me up. I understood the futility of material life. That I understood that life, bodily existence means suffering. Right the day after hearing that lecture, I went straight to chanting 12 rounds of the Hare Krishna mantra a day. And I never stopped chanting that since then. Even a few months later, I went straight to 16 rounds. That now, about 15 years later, maybe 2005, 2006, I met Mahavishnu Swami again in Vrindavan, and he was giving a lecture of the Bhagavad Gita. I was attending his lecture, and after the lecture he recognized me, and I told Maharaj, after your lecture I started to chant Hare Krishna, and I am still chanting Hare Krishna. You have saved my life. So that is how I came to Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.